A New Nativity by Alan Titchmarsh. When all those long, long years ago a child came down to earth below to save the likes of you and me from evil, harm and misery, you see, today we all recall the baby in the ox's stall, the ass, the stables, shepherds, kings, all ancient, rural, rustic things. But what if here, this very night, it happened on the Isle of Wight? Would we rejoice and all be merry? Would we dash off and catch the ferry? If Christ was born in Walthamstow, would builders drop their tools and go? Would whopping printers stop their presses? Would supermodels ditch their dresses? In Hampshire and in rural Kent, just a joiner, nothing grand. No previous form, their records scanned, the police...
Lion, the Unicorn and Me by Jeanette Winterson. An angel lined up all the animals, every one of every kind, because this angel had the full list left over from the ark. Most were eliminated at once, and finally it was just the three of us, the lion, the unicorn and me. The lion spoke first. Present position, king of the jungle. Previous history, worked with Hercules and Samson and Daniel in the lion's den. Special strength, special strength. Weaknesses, unknown. The angel wrote it down. Then the unicorn spoke. Present position, mythical beast. Previous history, in Hebrew I am Raim, the creature that cannot be tamed. Special strengths, known to be good with virgins. Weaknesses, tendency to vanish. The angel wrote it down. Then it was my turn. He'll make an ass of himself, whispered the lion. I did. I am a proper ass. Current position, underdonkey. Previous history, small underdonkey. Special strength, can carry anything, anywhere. Weaknesses, not beautiful, not well-bred, not important, not noticed, not won any prizes. The angel wrote it down. Then he gave us a tiebreaker. Could we say why we were right for the job? The lion spoke first. If he is to be king of the world, he should be carried by a king of the beasts. The unicorn said, if he is to be the mystery of the world, he should be carried by the most mysterious of us all. I said, well, if he's to bear the burdens of the world, he'd better be carried by me. And that is how I found myself trotting along, the red desert under my hooves, a tired woman nodding asleep on my back, towards the little town of Bethlehem. When we arrived at the inn, my master Joseph, an optimistic man, knocked at the door. No room, said the innkeeper. For my wife only, said Joseph. Tonight she will bear a son. Then go round the back to the stables, see what you can find. Now the animals that night knew something strange was going to happen. Animals always know when something strange is going to happen. They were murmuring among themselves. The ox had seen a star glowing brighter and brighter, and the camel had had a message from his brother, who worked for a king, that kings were travelling to Bethlehem that night. The sheep had been lying quietly in the frost-filled fields, when a creature bright as hope and fast as chance had defrosted the ground where he stood and told of a birth to come. Mary, Joseph and me pushed our way into the crowded stable. Joseph unsaddled me of all my burdens and turned me out into the yard to eat my supper. It was cold, sharp, biting weather. I looked up. The back of the inn was ramshackle and dark, but the stable was shining. Two creatures in bright array were sitting on the slipped clay roof, their feet clean and bare, their hair flowing like a river, and each carrying a long trumpet slung across his back. Above them was a star, so close I thought it would cut the roof in half. There was a great commotion, and 3 camels, jewelled and brushed, stood steaming in the yard. The camels bent and kneeled at a word, and the kings who rode them each unpacked a precious box of great price. In all this light and motion, I trotted quietly back through the door to where Joseph was kneeling beside Mary. There was a rushing sound, like water, and a cry, like life, and the baby, with its face screwed up and its eyes closed. And suddenly there was a blast of trumpets, and I looked up and saw the angel's feet push through the sagging roof, heralding the start of something, the end of something. The kings came inside and kneeled, and the youngest began to cry. Then 4 shepherds dressed in sheepskins came in. The baby was wrapped and laid in a manger. Sometime in the night, the lion on soft paws crept in and bowed his head, and through a gap in the wall no bigger than thought, the unicorn touched the baby with his horn. Morning came. All around the town was waking, and the whispering news was that something wonderful was happening. The 3 kings had left before dawn, warned in a fitful dream to return by another route. There was nothing to show for the night just gone. The innkeeper was giving his opinion, boasting about Herod coming to Bethlehem and some fool talk about angels. We didn't wait for Herod. We set out for Egypt, not telling anyone where we had gone. And I carried Mary and her baby for many days and many nights into safety. Sometimes, When the sky is very cold and clear, I think I see the bowl of a trumpet and its long funnel and a foot clean and white dangling over the roof line of stars. And I lift up my voice and bray. I bray for memory, for celebration, for warning, for chance, for everything that is here below and all that is hidden elsewhere.
For the past 2 years, I've missed this service due to a protracted period of illness and long stays in hospital. On both those occasions, you lot have been kind enough to send your Christmas wishes, so imagine my surprise when I'm able to make it this year and there's no one else in the church. Supporting wounded veterans have been standalone in their support for not only myself but my family, and I'm here simply to say thank you for making that possible. The support that goes to the veterans and their immediate families through this charity is immeasurable, and none of that would be possible without your support. Have a wonderful concert, a Merry Christmas, and dig deep.
Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining.